Hey guys, happy Monday if you're doing this on Monday. Today we're going to be covering symbiotic relationships. Now I'll let you know some of the extra videos that I'm posting on there. You might want to not eat before you see them. They're a little gross. You don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but just letting you know they're on there. And tomorrow there will not be a video, but there is a internet worksheet that you have to do, and it's more dealing with symbiotic relationships and stuff like that. So, all right, to get started, there is a up on your notes. Number one says includes both the biotic and abiotic factors. That would be C. Ecosystem. I forgot to tell you, pause it and go do it on your notes first, but at least I gave you the first one. So go ahead and pause and then go do this on your notes and come back to the video, and I'm showing the answers with you. So number two, relationship that occurs when both organisms rely on the same resource with their ecosystem. So they're relying on the same resource, so they're going to be competing. So it's D, competition. Number three, an organism's role within its environment. It's their job. Remember that? B, niche. B, niche. That's their job. Number four says an organism that eats other animals for energy. Well, if it's eating other animals, it's not a producer. And it's a secondary consumer, A, because primary consumer, remember that it is like a rabbit. It's eating a producer. And then a hawk eating that rabbit, that's a secondary consumer. The number five says list 3 renewable resources. We could go off hydropower, solar, wind, geothermal, stuff along that lines. Renewable, remember, renewable energy is energy that can be reproduced quickly. Non-renewable, remember, it's like coal, oil, gas, natural gas. It takes millions of years to actually make, and we're using it faster than what it's being produced. Number 6 down there says describe the relationship between fossil fuels and global climate change. It could be anything that you pick. Make sure it mentions something along the lines of we're burning fossil fuels quicker than what they can produce. And remember, burning fossil fuels releases carbon into the air, and the carbon acts like a blanket in our atmosphere, and it keeps the heat in, okay? So now we're going to go down to the notes. On the notes, there are some stuff that you should read before you, because I'll let you know, today's notes are very, very quick. It's not much that's there. Now, these are symbiotic relationships right here. You've got communalism, then you got mutualism, and then parasitism or parasitism, okay? Then you have some questions that you have to answer. There's 9 questions right there that you have to answer. Then the guided notes. Okay, let's go to the guided notes and we'll talk about it. Let me open them up right here. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Here you go. All right. Symbiotic relationships, okay? Symbiotic relationships. An interaction between organisms where at least one organism benefits from the relationship. Okay, so at least one of them have to benefit. That's all that is. One of them has to benefit. Both of them can benefit, but at least one of them has to benefit. That's in a symbiotic relationship. Here they are. Types of symbiotic relationships. First, you got mutualism. You can see it's happy face and happy face, so both of them are being benefited. Then you got communalism. You got one that's being affected, and one, it's not being affected one bit. So it's all right. Then you got parasitism. You've got smiley face, frowny face, sad face. So one's being benefited and one is being harmed. And this one right here is the videos that are going to be like, ooh, all right, when we get to them. All right, mutualism, good for you, good for me. Basically, they use an example of a clownfish and a sea anemone. The anemone is poisonous, but the special clownfish has a special coating. The sea anemone protects the clownfish, and the clownfish eats it. Well, it cleans the sea anemone. So basically, it's eating like parasites off the sea anemone, so it protects it. And the sea anemone actually protects the clownfish also. So it's mutualism. So it's beneficial for both of them. Both of them are happy. Communalism basically is good for you, but it doesn't bother me. So like a remora and a shark. Now, a remora attaches to the shark's body. As the shark is swimming through the water and it eats, the remora feeds on the shark's leftovers, because a shark will just rip and tear and rip and big bites, and there's going to be scraps left over, and it's going to float on, like, here's the mouth, it'll rip, and then it'll float on the side, and that's where the remora gets its food. It's not hurting the shark, but it sure isn't helping the shark either, okay? The only person that's benefiting from this relationship is the remora. So that's why it's communalism, because good for one, and it doesn't bother the other. All right? All right. Parasitism. All right. It's good for you, but it hurts me. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Hopefully you didn't eat before you started doing this, because it's a little gross. Basically, that's a botfly and its host. Botflies lay their eggs in the skin of mammals. The larvae eat the host's skin until they're ready to fly away. So it's good for the parasite, but the problem is it's eating skin on the host. That's not a good thing for the host. Now, I don't know. That looks like a human head. It could be a dog, but it looks like a human head. Now, we got some other things to show you too. All right, now this is actually, I have a video of this, and it's a little gross, but basically this particular wasp will sting a caterpillar, and it ejects its eggs inside the caterpillar. The eggs hatch, and they start eating the caterpillar from the inside. All right, so yes, this is not a good thing for the caterpillar. Eventually, they emerge when they transition from larvae to adult, and these particular wasps could not survive without the caterpillar. But it's parasitism because, well, first off, it's beneficial for the wasp, but it's deadly to the caterpillar. All right, let me adjust a little bit the camera. In this photo, the cleaner fish, you can see this guy right here. The cleaner fish receives nourishment by dining off the parasites and the remaining food debris in the eel's mouth. Now, could the eel snack on this little dude? Yeah, he could. But then how could the eel get stuff out of his teeth? So basically, it's like a little fishy toothpick. Now, this is mutualism because both of the organisms are benefiting. The eel's benefiting because it's getting its teeth cleaned from parasites and food scraps, and the cleaner fish actually gets food this way. So both things are being benefited. Now, cowbirds. Cowbirds, they lay their eggs in other birds' nests. Now, the hatched cowbird pushes the host eggs out of the nest and eat all the food that the host parents bring. So basically, this cowbird, will go and find a nest. Now, it's parasitism because it's killing the host babies. So it doesn't have to compete for food either. So it's going to hatch. It's going to kick out the other eggs. So it doesn't have any competition. And it's strange that the bird parents don't recognize that it's not theirs. I'm not sure how that works, but they will feed this baby and it will grow up to be an adult, and it will do the same thing to other birds. So that's why it's considered a parasite. In this interaction, the flower becomes pollinated by the insect, while the bee receives food in the form of pollen and nectar. So the bee's getting pollen and nectar to feed off of, and it's pollinating the other flowers, because the bees are going to land on hundreds of flowers, and pollen is sticky, so it will stick to the little bee's little legs right there, and when he lands on another flower, it will rub off there. So that's why we need bees. But it's mutualism, positives for both. Now, communalism, hermit crabs and snails. A hermit crab lives in a shell that are made and then abandoned by shells. This neither harms nor benefits the snail, but it does benefit the actual hermit crab. So one is helped, the other one's not hurt. So it's communalism. We already talked about this. The clownfish lives in the sea anemone tentacles. The clownfish cleans an anemone, and the tentacles also protect the clownfish. Because if any other fish will come in here, or a predator comes in here and it stings, the sea anemone will sting the other fish. And that protects the clownfish. Think of Nemo. The shiitake mushroom fungus absorbs sugar and starches made by the birch tree. The tree is unharmed, so it doesn't hurt the tree. So this is communalism too. Now, listen, I don't know how well you can read this, but I'm going to read it for you. It's called the horsehair worm. It starts its life as an egg laid in a puddle. Okay. The puddle dries out, and a grasshopper eats the egg. Now, you do not want to be the grasshopper in this. The egg hatches and burrows through the gut of the grasshopper into its body cavity. The worm feeds off the nutritious blood of the insect and grows until it reaches adulthood. Then it starts producing chemicals which take over the brain of the insect and causes the insect to find water. The grasshopper drowns, and then the worm then exits the grasshopper and lives in the puddle, mating and laying more eggs. This cycle is repeated. It's a parasite because the grasshopper is harmed in this. Now, the horsehair worm is benefited, but that's why it's a parasite. In fact, it kills the grasshopper because the desire for water is so drastic in the grasshopper's brain that it ends up drowning. Algae grows on the tree sloth's fur. The algae helps to camouflage the sloth against the tree. Now, some people say, oh, that's mutualism because the sloth gives a place for the algae to grow, but the algae could grow on the actual tree too. So it's not really benefiting the algae, but if you said it was mutualism, well, then I could see that a little bit. But it's communalism because it camouflages the tree sloth, but it doesn't really help or benefit the algae. Then we have this wasp. Now, tell you what, these wasps, I don't know. One's stinging caterpillars, and now this one's stinging a spider. The wasp stings and paralyzes the spider and lays its eggs on it. Okay, the larvae will consume the still living spider from the inside, killing the spider and allowing the wasp to grow. Parasites are not good. I have never seen one parasite that does any good stuff because it's hurting the host. Now, there's 2 YouTube videos right there. You can click on this one and open it up, and then there's a link here. You're gonna have to about army ants. You're gonna have to copy and paste that. And also, I gave you 2 other videos. Now, these 2 other videos are not, I would say, pleasant watching. One's about mango flies. Now, you're going to start itching when you see these mango flies because they're cleaning them off dogs. These dogs are probably left outside all the time and not here. mango flies are in warmer climate, but when a dog gets infested with mango flies, it's kind of gross. Now you'll see them cleaning it out. So, and then the other one is a bot fly. Now these bot flies are on dogs also. Now I'm starting to itch because I've seen the videos. So, tomorrow you're not going to get a video from me. You're going to get it's actually a worksheet that you'll use the internet to complete. It's not really a web quest because we're not giving you a lot of websites, but it's just stuff that you can actually look up. You might not need the internet for it. You might be able to figure it out. Mr. Stacy's working on a lesson for Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll have a worksheet also, or maybe a little web quest. I'm setting up the Zoom for Tuesday and Thursday. And if you have any questions, you can actually be on the Zoom. I don't think too many people had problems with it. You have to log in. Basically, you can log in with your Google account when you get there. All right. I'll put the code up on Monday for Tuesday's Zoom. All right. Have a nice day. Get your work done. Remember, turn it in.